Hi everyone, thank you so much for stopping to watch Mama Junior. If this is your first time watching Mama Junior, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by today. And if this is not your first time, welcome back. Whether you are a first time visitor or not, please hit the share button. I always ask you to hit the share button whether you decide to subscribe or not, because you just never know who needs the message that is being delivered. So we just always ask that you hit the share button regardless if it's a message that resonates with you or not, okay? So I'm going to keep today's message short and sweet as I talk about your brand. And this might catch a few people off guard because when you hear about a brand, you think of a big name. You think of, someone or some company or organization that's extremely famous from, one end of the country to the next, or maybe internationally, right? And so I wanted to talk to you about your brand because, in my opinion, that's not necessarily what it has to look like or what it needs to be. So I want you to think about how people receive you, what they think of you when they hear your name or hear that you're involved in something. To me, that's your brand. That's how you have established yourself to people, and the thoughts that come to mind about you determines your brand. If you think of Great Value or Gucci, certain things come to mind when you think of those names, right? For one reason or another, you may decide you don't associate or fool with those brands for certain reasons, or you may decide it is definitely something you want because of those brand names, right? I know when I go and get a Great Value product, it's going to be about this and this and this. I know when I go get a Gucci product, it's going to be about this, this, and that, right? So hearing the name, you decide what it means to you because of its reputation, okay? So that's what I want you to consider when I think about your brand. What is your reputation? How do people think of you based on the way you've put yourself out there in the past? I am still working on that, and not just the Mama Junior brand, but my personal brand with how people receive me and think of me, okay? So one thing that comes to mind is probably more than 10, maybe 15 years ago, my mom and my brothers finally told me that I was overbearing and pushy, and not necessarily in those words, but that's how I received it, that I was bossy and pushy and judgmental. They don't want to share certain things with me because I can be very judgmental, or, if they share an idea about something, I take over, before you know it, I've got you enrolled in some classes for, that thing that you told me that you were interested about. And rightfully so, I am very guilty of that. But when they told me that, I was a little offended, but I had to realize that it was the truth. It was definitely the truth, because I get excited about things when someone says, I wonder what it would be to own my own business or to start this up and that. And the next day I have catalogs, because I've gone down to the college and I've got an advisor's business card, and I'm like, hey, Miss Jean is waiting on you to call. I told her all about your plans, and you like, I just told you it would be cool to do it, right? So I am definitely guilty of taking the ball and running when you share something with me. And I've personally, in my mind, I've gotten better with it, but those who know me would have to tell me, like, do you feel like I'm still very bossy and overbearing when you share something with me? Because my intent is to just support you and be excited for you and be happy for you, and to support and do if you ask me to do. But I don't know if that's what your experience is in dealing with me, but I'm a work in progress, and I'm okay with that. My newest realization after talking to one of my coworker friends is that I'm very hard on people. And I think that goes along with all that other stuff. right now, I am not apologetic about being hard on people. I want people's best. I want them to do their best and be their best, and I want them to be happy with the choices that they've made. When I engage with someone, maybe, just out at a restaurant, I want the best. I want somebody who is, giving me their best service. I don't want terrible service. And I think that for me is a huge pet peeve, to go somewhere where I have chosen to spend my money as opposed to somewhere else and I don't get good service. Big deal for me. But just outside of that, I want people's best. If you're in a position of leadership, I want your best. If you are supposed to educate me on something, if you're supposed to be the knowledgeable one about a certain situation or subject matter, I want your best. I need your best, in my opinion, may be miles away from what your best is. But for me, I have an image of what your best should look like. And obviously, I don't always receive that. So I'm right now in a place where I don't apologize for being hard on people. If you have put yourself in a certain position, I expect it to look a certain way, right? And so maybe a little bit later, I'll say, that's not cool to just really, crack down on people expecting their best. But today, right now, I'm okay with the fact that I'm hard on people. And I'm okay with people knowing when it comes to me, she's going to want your best. She's not going to want you half-stepping in this area or that area, right? But we have so many different facets to us. We have so many different layers. And I also want people to know that I'm going to ride hard for them. If I care about them or anything that they've got going on, I'm going to take up for you. I'm going to stick up for you. I'm going to ride hard for you. I want people to know that I lead with love. And to me, that is so that God will be proud of me. That is my ultimate goal, for God to be proud of me. And I know that everything I do is not worthy of, him being proud of me, but that's what I'm working towards. I'm working towards trying to get it right. And because my intention is that, hopefully that's enough when it's all said and done, that he will be proud of me. There is a poem that I want you to look up called The Dash. And I heard this poem many, many years ago. I might have been a teenager at a family member's funeral. And it was about that dash that's in the middle of your year of birth and your year of death. And it talked about how important that little bitty dash is that you never think about. You think about the year of birth and the year of death, but that dash represents everything you did in your life between those two dates, right? And so obviously it resonated and stuck with me because I think that the dash is so important. I want my dash to be huge, right? And how I came to you, how I showed up in your life, or how I didn't show up. Like, I want my dash to mean something. And so I encourage you to think about your dash. I encourage you to think about your brand, because the way you interact with people, the mark you leave on people matters. Whether you have been, giving and gracious and kind and courteous and, supportive or loving matters to people. And whether you've been conniving, manipulative, a liar, cheater, just a all around bad person means something to people. Certain people, certain brands have the reputation they have because of how they've come across, how multiple people have seen them, how their product, is or is not made with integrity, and it lasts or doesn't last. And I just want you to think about that, because we decide when we hear a certain person's name if we gonna fool with them, if they really gonna come through based on what they said. When you know how Tammy say she gonna do this and you never hear from her again, that kind of thing. So I want you to think about your brand, because whether you think about it or not, or whether you want it to be that way or not, you are leaving your mark on people every single day by the way you conduct yourself or behave, or, you know, are there for them or are not there for them. So don't just think of a brand as some grandiose Gucci or great value, because you leave a brand name whenever you come into the room, whenever you call, whenever you interact or engage with people. And it's important. It's part of your dash. So like I said, short and sweet video today. Just something for you to think about, and I appreciate you watching. If you did not subscribe to Mama Junior yet, please hit that subscribe button, and when the notification bell pops up, click that as well, and you will be notified with all the new Mama Junior videos on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.